Good morning, anybody. What am I doing here? First, I guess I'm willing to admit that I probably have a little bit of a problem. I know there's not a bunch of you out there watching and following, and I know I had plans to do tour videos, which I do still think will happen, but I don't have a ton of time because I have an FTJ, and I do like building and driving things more than I do making videos about them. So when I have time, I would prefer to do that. So yeah, I have a problem. I'm gonna build another truck, so I'll try to give a quick little run through of what I have. I have a few more parts on the way, and I haven't built anything from this Hui crawler place, so I need to see, how things are going to stack up size-wise, and then I'll go from there. I have an idea what motor I want, things like that. ESC, I'll do probably a Fusion in it. But I need to double check room because this thing's a little bit smaller. And this build is going to be an ode to the Crawler Canyon. If you guys are watching and haven't heard of Crawler Canyon, I suggest you watch that channel. There's a ton to learn there. That gentleman, Mr. Canyon, Mr. C, is doing this pretty much like it was a full-time job. So testing and different things and reviewing, he's in it way more regular, and I think it's a good source for information. And he has a thing that he calls Class 1.5 or Crawler Canyon Class 1.5. So it's things on the smaller side, and I may not be fully in his rule book. It's not a real rule book, but I think these are 425s, not actually 419s. He mixes basically some Class 2 and some Class 1. And they turn out to look like they'd be pretty fun rigs. Not all the limitations of a Class 1, but some of them. So it makes you have to drive a little more. So I'll probably just shut up on the blabbing part, give you a quick tour of all the parts, and then I think I'm going to try to put this into a little bit of a build for this video. So I have some other parts coming, but I should be able to get to a roller in pretty short order, and at least be a roller, shocks and stuff like that. So I guess I'll pick the camera up and get you guys in a little bit closer. All right, first things first, I've got the Hui crawler. It's like a ultralight LCG. It's pretty small, little build, little chassis at least. Normally there would be frame horns out here in the front, so it would probably be closer to a traditional length. But this is their ultralight. I'm pretty sure it's basically just a knockoff of a Poised, like my K truck is right here. So yeah, it's just their version of it. I think it's $40 for the chassis kit, which is probably those pieces right there. I slapped the braces in just to be able to have it stand up, and then there's the other rail. This seems to be plastic. This is definitely plastic, and it's flexible. This is like a hinge. It's intended for, I believe, like just a cab, maybe like a comp wagon cab, creep cab. I don't know. I've never built one with any of those bodies, so I don't know exactly what they are, but you're supposed to put that back firewall into, get it lined up, into that slot and screw it in. I think, see if it'll show up. There's a slot right there in that bracket on top of my fingers. Come on. Any rate, you get the picture. It's not clear enough, but you can put it in there and then have a pin on the front, and then this thing will twist and let you pivot it, so you can just tilt the cab up, kind of like a VS410 body. You pivot it forward, this one you can pivot it back, or something along them lines. So you can buy some kind of a whole kit for this thing, but I couldn't find a listing for that, and I didn't want every single thing that they had for it, so they also sell things a la carte. So you can get the chassis kit, and then you can get a links kit. I put it together also real quick just to try to get a test for the wheelbase, because I already have a body in mind, and what they were saying in the Amazon listing wasn't real clear, and I'm glad I did, because I thought I was going to have to buy shorter links, because what they were listing for a wheelbase was longer than what I wanted. But just mocking it up and laying out the bottom links to kind of get a rough idea for wheelbase, I think it's going to be fine. It's going to fall into the length and size of that body that I have in mind. It's on the way. If it gets here soon enough, I'll try to get it in this video. But yeah, so links kit, chassis kit, chassis kit, links kit. There's some stuff here for like a rear riser on the axle, things like that, rod ends and everything. These, in my opinion, just at first sight, are a little bit on the thin side. I don't know how they'll hold up. I'm probably going to try to sleeve the bottom ones with some kind of poly or something like that. I've been wanting to test that, but normally the links I get are bigger. I have some tubing that I think could be kind of slick. Not that metal has grip, but if the tubing's slick, then that's cool. This is their BOA, whatever, EOA, everything on axle kit. And it's got like 3 different versions of mount. So to me, this is a pretty good deal. I'll try to link prices or something, or flash them on the screen, but you're basically getting like 3, either battery on axle, servo on axle, both on axle, everything on axle, however you like to refer to it. If I have it worked out right, I think you're getting basically 3 kits to be able to do that. So you buy this, you could use one on one rig and potentially use the other 2 pieces to mount stuff on other rigs. It seems to be intended for capper axles, so that's what I got. Receiver, I got this receiver here just to go with my G11P. So that'll be that. Poo Crawler also has their version of a Nod 2. This thing, I don't know, I have that K-Truck has a Nod 2 in it, and this thing seems even smaller than that one, but that is a straight axle truck, so I don't know if the Portal version is different, and that's what that is. So that's what I have for a gearbox. These are some, I don't remember what brand. They were unmarked when I got them, but these are just some Amazon beadlocks. I like the way they looked. The ring looks pretty cool, and yeah, they were the right measurement. They had a good width for what I wanted to do with these smaller tires. Desert Lizards, 90 millimeter. I have the might have been Deluxe, I think, rod ends to try to make them shorter. They're not the straight rod ends like this. They're the ones that they call like P-shape. So that the eyelet is on the side of the body. So it'll shorten up the overall height, length of the shock, but it doesn't change your travel. I think that's a pretty cool idea, keeping the travel but not gaining a bunch of shock length and ride height and all that stuff. And then J Concepts fires in 4.25. These seem to have a pretty good rating, review, whatever, for 425, and that goes to the class 1.5 that Mr. C promotes on his channel. It may not be exact, like I said, but he does things like mixing portals with a smaller tire, or small tires and one extra feature like dig or something like that. I guess 2-speed if you really wanted it, but trying to give a little advantage to a class 1, Lexan bodies, things like that, just to make them a little bit, I don't want to say easier to drive, but I think you kind of get used to driving certain rigs, and if you have pretty capable rigs like a bunch of class 2s, and then you try to get on a hard body, unless you're real good at that learning curve and getting, you know, swapped into that mode, like I feel the same way when I drive some small scale, that it's a little bit harder to just pick it up and get into it. So this is kind of somewhere in the middle, and it more challenging than driving a class 2, but not as bad as a class 1 maybe if you are older and stubborn or whatever, maybe like I am. And yeah, so I'm excited to build this and see what it's like. I will stop talking again and try to get the camera set up. I'm going to go ahead and start mocking some stuff up and getting things slapped together. Meus, Capra, clear anodized cheat codes. I wanted normal width, and I was just screwing stuff up, checking the orders, and wasn't selecting the right item on Amazon. So we'll go cheat code, see how it is. Yeah, I might have this thing in backwards. I'm not quite sure how it's supposed to go, but it's kind of flimsy in my opinion. And I'm not going to be doing a cab only mount, so I'll probably just use a regular chassis brace here. And with this being softer back here, I'd probably rather just have a regular aluminum chassis brace up here. We'll see what happens. Before I get too far into this, I'm going to open these up and get some grease in here, because knowing me, if I get it mocked, I'll just start driving it. And yeah, so I'm going to grease them now. There's actually a decent amount in here. So top it off a little bit and keep going. I use some Park Tool bite grease also. It's a pretty similar color. They may be using something along those lines. A little bit more dry in that one. Little hack for the screws. My shop floor is just a banner, like the back wall, and I have a big sheet of magnet underneath it. Probably takes up this much room, and so when you drop screws, they don't tend to roll so much. Not a ton better on the grease. different size hardware, or at least drive for the rear axle, kind of different. Definitely got some grease. I'm going to put more. Oh, yeah. I think both axles are probably going to need a shim outside between the U-joint yoke and the front of the pinion input. So I feel a little binding when I push, thrust in, the mesh is not as good. This is my first set of aluminum Meus, and I think I just have some older, like early gen Portal Meus, so these are pretty cool, high pinion. What way? High pinion, so that should help. Got the diamond shape, all that stuff, so they seem pretty cool. I don't know how the link riser deal is going to work back here when we get to that stuff. We'll see. That link kit came with a riser for this, and I believe it's meant for capper axles, but this Meus may have a different top center mount, so we'll see what happens. Finish that. Fairly dry. Yeah, fairly dry. That one's slightly better.